to make sure that those individuals that registered for event can have the opportunity to turn around and revisit it. Or for those that registered for the event and didn't click on that button, to get on, at least they can go back and hear the information that was delivered. So with that being said, I do want to start it off by us hearing a message from our administrator. So I need to share my screen and fumble a little bit, but just give me a moment. You know what? I do apologize. Some things you can't control. I'm not going to get upset. For some reason, it's not letting me share the link, but I do want to play the video. Maybe we can hear the video towards the end, but we're going to keep moving. So, with that being said, again, thank everyone for attending the SBA North and South Florida 2023 National Veteran Small Business Week event. And like I mentioned, hopefully when you guys click that leave button today, this was worth your time. So what I want to do is, I know I mentioned Ron. Ron, can you please pop back on the camera for a moment? Ron is my counterpart from the South Florida District Office. And again, I want to thank Ron for the collaboration. So because we're starting the event, and again, like I said, we can go back towards the end to play that video. But first up, I want to, since we're going to hear that video from the administrator towards the end. So right now, what I want to do is introduce the North Florida District Office Deputy District Director. So our Deputy District Director is Janelle Hines, and in her position, she oversees the delivery and agency programs such as financial assistance, management counseling, business development through the North Florida area. She is responsible for the daily operation of the district office that's located here in Jacksonville, and we also have an alternate work office that's in Orlando. And the North Florida district office covers 43 counties, which our deputy district director is also responsible for. One of her focuses is on building and maintaining a viable network of collaborative partnerships with small business owners, community leaders, as well as stakeholders. And Janelle has been with the agency a little over 30 years. Janelle, correct me if I'm wrong about that number. But anyway, I want to thank Janelle for joining us to be able to speak with you guys today to give you, an overview and the welcome remarks from the Small Business Administration. So with that being said, I'm going to pass the mic to Janelle.
Thank you very much, Natalie. Yeah, I just hit 31 in April. So long-term SBA proponent. It's a great agency. I love our mission. And I think speaking to people who are veterans today, mission is uber important. But we have a mission that helps people to realize their American dream of business ownership. And therefore wealth creation for their families and their communities. So it's something that's very easy to get behind and something that has kept me here for that amount of time. First, I want to say thank you all for taking time out of your day. I know everyone is very busy. We're getting into the holiday season, and I know many businesses are gearing up for that big holiday shopping time that we have at this moment in the year. But I also wanted to thank our speakers that are coming today. We have some wonderful speakers that Natalie and Ron have been able to provide for you today and they're going to provide some really interesting information. I always like to say that the best brand ambassadors for our programs are those that have utilized our programs. So we're really fortunate to have Tomas here, who is a business who has actually utilized the programs you're going to hear about and been able to be successful at that. I want to first, though, start off by saying thank you for your service for anybody that is joining that is a veteran. or a spouse of a veteran, or maybe just a reservist, thank you for making the commitment to our country. We appreciate that. And just to let you know, I've like I've been with the agency for a long time, 30 years in South Florida, now just a little over a year and a half in the North Florida office. But thankful to be in the position that I'm in because I think I can see impact. Like these programs that we're bringing you today, and with these resources that we're providing you today, it's all about the impact that we can provide to you. It's nothing makes my heart feel better than to have someone come up and say, "Hey, you know, I went to a session that you were talking about a particular program. I was able to utilize that program, and I've spread the word amongst the business community that it works, that these things work." So I'm happy to be here. Happy to say thank you for joining us. And I can't do what I do, and I know Natalie read my bio, but I don't do any of that without the team that's underneath me, both when I was in South Florida and in North Florida. We have fabulous employees here who all are very passionate about small business, particularly Ron and Natalie with their interest in our veterans programs. But always feel that you can reach out to us. And I know that Natalie will have a contact slide at the end of the presentations that we have today. We're working to make sure that your customer experience with SBA is a better experience than maybe what you've had in the past. So we're welcome to have any kind of comments or critiques on how it is that you feel that we have been responsive to you. So happy National Veterans Small Business Week, and I'm going to pass it back over to Natalie. Thank you.
Thank you, Janelle. And you know what? I want to say thank you probably for mentioning my name because I probably never said who I was or anything like that. I do apologize, everyone. I'm Natalie Hall. I'm an economic development specialist as well as a veterans rep, just like my counterpart, Ron, but he's a lead business opportunity specialist. So, with that being said, for those of you that are on this event and don't know much about SBA, me and Ron are going to tag team to give you an overview of the SBA programs and services on how we can support your veteran or service disabled veteran owned business, whether you're starting a business, growing a business, or even if you're just thinking about entrepreneurship. So, with that being said, like I mentioned, we're going to tag team on this. Guys, since I can't see, please let me know. Did you see my first slide?
Hey Natalie, we're seeing your presenter view. You can hide that. If you go down to the ellipsis on that black screen to the right,
Okay.
there you go. Click on that and then go up to hide presenter view.
Okay.
And then you might have to adjust because now we're just seeing your actual slides themselves versus the presentation. There you go. Let's see what we got.
Or start the slide presentation over, yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Give me a second.
If you have dual monitors, sometimes you have to flip flop the
Oh,
presentation from
okay.
one monitor to the next.
Technology is great when it works, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Okay. So how does that look?
We're still seeing the same thing, Natalie.
I I truly don't know how to.
Well, she's going through and adjusting the presentation. I'll go ahead and kind of introduce myself. But first of all, I'd just like to say good morning, all, and welcome again to this Veteran Small Business Week event, marching toward Vet Biz. You guys are going to find out some good information from the SBA and our resource partners, to help, assist your small business. And again, this collaboration is presented by the North and South Florida District offices of the U.S. Small Business Administration, joined by some of our resource partners, the Veterans Business Outreach Center and the Veterans Institute for Procurement VIP program. My name is Ron Brunner. I'm the lead business opportunity specialist from the South Florida District Office of the U.S. Small Business Administration. I'm located out of the Tampa alternate work site. I work in the 8A department and government contracting side of the SBA, assisting socially and economically disadvantaged small businesses. And I'm also the veteran small business officer here in South Florida. Um, so much like most of you, I'm also a veteran. I did 6 years active duty and still currently serving in the Army Reserves with 20 plus years. And so with that, I would like to be the first person to wish all of you a happy Veterans Day, Veterans or Armistice Day to all of you. I know it's a little early, but I wanted to take that time and wish you guys a happy Veterans or Armistice Day. And again, thank you for your service to our country. Many of you have done some incredible things in the military during your time in service, and you continue to do so with the support your firms provide the military today. So again, thank you for your service.
Thank you, Ron. So with that being said, what do you guys see? Do you see my slide? 'Cause I'm just...
We do. Yay!
Oh, you do. Okay. I don't know what's going on, but you know what? I'm just going to go ahead with it. So again, thank everyone for joining us. And the copy of the slides you guys will receive, so that's not an issue. So with that being said, like I said, me and Ron are going to tag team to walk you guys through the SBA overview. So the first slide should actually be the welcome slide. Hopefully, my machine is following along. SBA works to ignite change, spark action, so small businesses can confidently start, grow, expand, and recover. So with that statement, that's basically, what our mission is and how do we do that? So the SBA has our resource partner network, and our resource partner network are partly funded by the Small Business Administration, and they're here to provide free business mentoring as well as counseling. The resource partners that you guys see on screen, hopefully, they also put on a host of workshops and trainings January through December. Some of those events might have a small fee attached to it, and others may be free. So first off, we have our Women's Business Center. So our Women's Business Center, of course, I'm with the North Florida District Office. We have the Women's Business Center located here in Jacksonville, and South Florida District Office also has the Women's Business Center. But the link that you guys are seeing is the national link, so that way you guys can locate your local Women's Business Center. So if there's a business partner, male or female, you guys can utilize the Women's Business Center. The organization is not here to discriminate, but we do have a Women's Business Center that's here to provide you with free business mentoring as well as counseling. Next, you see SCORE. SCORE is an organization that's made up of volunteers. Those men and women that are with SCORE today, some of them still own their small businesses. Some have since sold their businesses, and some come from, corporations. SCORE, again, is a volunteer organization, and they also provide the same support, free business mentoring as well as counseling. With SCORE, a lot of times when someone wants to work with a mentor, they generally get matched with a mentor from that same industry or close, so that way that individual can help them to either start or grow a small business. Next is the Small Business Development Center. Again, they provide the same support. SBDC is what we call them for short. Again, SBDC as well as the Women's Business Center and SCORE can be found throughout Florida. Being that this is a collaboration event with North Florida and South Florida. So if anyone is actually interested in working with one of the resource partners, all you will have to do is click on their national link to get attached to the local resource partner. Again, the Women's Business Center, SCORE, and SBDC are all partly funded by SBA to provide you with this support. And the last resource partner that you see listed is the Veterans Business Outreach Center. I'm not going to go into detail about VBOC, what we call them for short, because we have the director of the Florida Veterans Business Outreach Center who's going to follow our presentation. So I'm going to let the director, Brent Peacock, talk about the Veterans Business Outreach Center. But here are the 4 SBA resource partners who are here to assist you, like I said, to start or grow that business, or even if you just here just for information and you want to learn more about them, here is their national website, so that way you can locate the closest resource partner that you want to work with so they can assist you with your business. The next slide, you guys should see, hopefully talks about veteran and business ownership. These are a couple of trainings that's available for our military community. We have a Booster Business, which is a 2-day entrepreneurship track that is delivered through military installations. I'm sure Brent is going to talk about that as well. Next, it shows Booster Business Reboot, which is the same program, but it's generally not attached to a military installation because sometimes individuals transition out and they don't have access to the base. But we still want to give those an opportunity to take that training. Our Booster Business program that we have is, one of probably SBA programs that I know about that I say is international because some individuals that are deployed in certain areas outside the United States have an opportunity to attend this training just like the individuals do here. So I'm glad to be a part of the Booster Business programs. This is a great program for someone that's, again, looking to start or grow a small business. Some individuals come through Booster Business and may have already have their lights turned on, and some may just be there just for information only. But anyway, these are two trainings that we do have. And the next is a Veterans Women Igniting the Spirit of Entrepreneurship. That's VWISE. I did mention the Women's Business Center don't discriminate, but this program is specifically for the female service member or the female spouse. So whether they're starting a business or thinking about starting a business, the VWISE program is a great program. They generally have 4-year in different cities. That service member or spouse do have to get themselves to that location, and everything else would be paid for. But you have to, do a registration to make sure you meet the requirements to attend the class, and it's generally only 200 seats. Next is Entrepreneurship Boot Camp for Veterans with Disabilities. That's a
Oh, Natalie, we lost you.
someone muted me, so I'm sorry about that. The last you will see Veteran Institute for Procurement. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that because we have the director and we also have a past graduate of that program, which is a great program. And the last is our surplus personal property for veteran-owned small businesses. So whether you're starting a business or growing a business, if you're a veteran and meet the requirements, why go out and buy property for your business when you can turn around and receive free property? So again, these slides are available for everyone who has attended. The links are live, so if anyone is interested in any of the trainings that I mentioned, you can just click on the links or go to sba.gov/veteran. And next,
Hey, Natalie, real quick, this is Ron.
Okay.
Your slides aren't transitioning.
They're not. Unfortunately, I do
What-
apologize about that, but they're moving on my end. I don't know what's going on, but we just have to keep moving. But everyone will have a copy of the
I can
slides.
share the PDF. I can share the PDF from my side, and we can try that
Okay.
if you like.
Okay.
Give me a second here. Okay, just let me know if you guys can see it.
We can see it. Just go to the next one, and then you
Okay,
can pick up
great.
from there. Okay.
All right, go ahead, Natalie.
No, I'm done. I'm turning it over to you, Ron.
Oh, okay. So yeah, one of the great things about the SBA is they have, multiple certifications to assist small businesses with getting federal contracts, right? And so 23% of all prime government contracting dollars, are, set aside for small businesses, right? And so within that, some of the certifications that you have are the 8A Business Development Program, of which I'm in, or which I'm actually, the lead of. And so I hold like a portfolio of about 55 firms that I manage and I assist with, kind of getting federal procurements as well as growing throughout their 9-year program, right? It's one of the easier programs for government contractors to utilize. And so you've got the 8A Business Development Program. You also have the Hub Zone, which is the historically underutilized business zone program, which are generally in areas of, that they're trying to build up. Some of those areas may be in downtown, within cities, or it may be outside of military installations, but you can generally find, the marked areas on the, on a website that provides you with all the hub zone areas. You also have what's called the Women-Owned Small Business Program, or WOSB program. That's another certification program that is designated strictly for women-owned small businesses to, compete and win government contracts. And then you have the Service Disabled Veteran-Owned program. And so that program is currently overseen by the VA, but in 1 January 2023, it'll be transitioned over to the SBA, to where you apply through the SBA to receive that certification. And so again, these certifications, right? So 5% of all contract dollars are supposed to be awarded to 8A, 3% to Hub Zone, 5% to women-owned small businesses, and then 3% to service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses, right? And so going on to the next slide, the objective is to help businesses start, grow, and succeed. And government contracting is definitely, one of the routes that you can choose to do so, and whatnot. So by expanding your selling or product and services to the government, you can increase those profit margins or whatnot to be able to do that, right? So the federal government is the largest purchaser of goods and services in the world, through the military installations and civilian installations that they have. Again, as mentioned earlier, there's a federal mandate goal of 23% of all federal contracts coming from small businesses. And then in FY 2016, the U.S. government, awarded small businesses nearly $100 billion in federal contracts. And, so the SBA is there to help small businesses overcome those market barriers through their certifications to assist and win federal contracts. And you can find out more about the SBA's certifications through www.sba.gov. And to apply and get certified, you'll want to go to www.certify.sba.gov. Right. And then next we have lending and funding. Right. Give me 1 second here to transition into this. All right. The SBA's objective to help businesses start, grow, and succeed, and one of the most important elements of that is funding. The SBA works with an array of approved lenders to offer SBA-backed loans and microloans, and they do this through providing competitive terms, lower down payments, flexible overhead requirements, and and they do this through counseling and education as well. So three of the loans that the SBA offers are 7A loans. The 7A loan is SBA's most common loan program, which includes financial help for businesses with special requirements. This is the best option when real estate is part of a business purchase, but it can also be used for short and long-term working capital, to refinance your business debt, to purchase furniture, fixtures, and supplies of that nature. The maximum loan amount for a 7A loan is $5 million. And some of the key eligibility factors are based on what the business does to receive its income, its credit history, and where the business operates. Your lender will help you kind of figure out, the type of loan that's best suited for your needs. Then you have what are called 504 loans. The CDC 504 loan program provides a long-term fixed rate financing for major fixed assets to promote business growth and job creation. 504 loans are available through certified development companies, SBA's community-based partners who regulate nonprofits and promote economic development within their communities. CDCs are certified and regulated by the SBA. The maximum loan amount for a 504 loan is $5 million. For certain energy projects, the borrower can receive a 504 loan for up to $5.5 million per project. For up to 3 projects, not to exceed $6.5 million total. And then lastly, we have our microloans. The microloan program provides loans of up to $50,000 to help small businesses and certain not-for-profit child care centers start up and expand. The average microloan is about $13,000. The SBA provides funds to specially designated intermediary lenders, which are nonprofit, community-based organizations with experience in lending as well as management and technical assistance. These intermediaries administer the microloan program for eligible borrowers. All right, next, SBA disaster. So when a disaster happens, the SBA is there to assist your business, but you don't want to wait until the disaster happens. Most of us on this webinar live in Florida, so we've kind of experienced some natural disasters. For instance, Irma, back when Irma happened, and now just recently, Hurricane Ian. So why don't we start preparing now to alleviate some of the stress when it does occur, right? And so this should be part of your business plan and implementing, ways to prevent, any heartache when the actual hurricane does happen. So in order to find out more information, you want to follow the link sba.gov/prepare to find out more. Yeah. Next, you have some of the SBA assistant loans. Who can use an SBA disaster loan? Businesses of all sizes located in declared disaster areas, private nonprofit organizations, homeowners, and renters affected by declared disasters, including civil unrest and natural disasters such as hurricanes, flooding, and wildfires. How to use an SBA disaster loan. Losses not covered by insurance or funding from the Federal Emergency Management Agency or FEMA for both personal and business. Business operating expenses that could have been met had the disaster not occurred, right? So physical damage loans, those cover repairs and replacement of physical assets damaged in declared disaster. Mitigation assistance is funding to cover small business operating expenses after a declared disaster. And then you have the economic injury disaster loans that provide economic relief to small businesses and nonprofit organizations that have suffered damage to their home or personal property. And lastly, you have military reservist loans, is where the SBA provides loans to help eligible small businesses with operating expenses to make up for employees on active duty leave. And then for more information and to apply for disaster funding, you want to go to https://www.sba.gov/funding-programs/disaster-assistance for more information. And so with that, that concludes our portion of SBA programs. Natalie, would you like to say any words before I turn it over to Brenton here?
Nope. So again, everyone will have access to the slides, even though my part of the presentation didn't match up, but it's okay because you guys will have this information. So Ron, you can stop sharing so Brent can share his screen, his slides for his presentation. And I'm going to turn the mic back over to you, Ron, so you can introduce Brent.
Okay, great. All right. So the Veterans Business Outreach Center program is designed to provide entrepreneurial development services such as business training, counseling, and resource partner referrals of transitioning service members, Veterans National Guard and Reserve members, and military spouses interested in starting or growing a small business. The SBA has a total of 22 organizations participating in this cooperative agreement and servicing the Veterans Business Outreach Centers. There are a total of 23 VBOCs throughout the U.S. and its Florida location here in Panama City on the Panhandle, and soon to be one in Miami. And so the director of the one up in Panama City is Brenton Peacock of the Florida Veterans Business Outreach Center. His specialties include startup assistance, feasibility study and analysis, business plan writing, licensing, SBA loan programs, marketing, government contracting process, boots to business instructor, and full phase business analyst. He was recognized as a Regional Consultant of the Year Award for 2014 with a Regional Impact Certified Business Analysis of the Year for 2012 and Certified Business Analyst CBA of the Year of 2009 for his work with veteran clients and the accomplishments he helped them achieve. He has worked with thousands of veteran clients in his role as a business analyst. He owned and operated several successful businesses and assisted with operations of his father's veteran-owned small business. The Florida VBOC was recognized as the SBA's Veterans Business Outreach Center of the Year for 2014 and again in 2019. Mr. Peacock is a graduate of the American Military University. He holds a Master's of Arts and Management with a focus on entrepreneurship. He also holds a bachelor's degree in business communications from Florida State University. And with that, I'll turn it over to Brenton.
Thanks, Ron. Can you see the slide okay? It's a kind of a one-pager here. It kind of talks about what we do. Good, thank you. We were the first VBOC. We're the original one. Started back in 1999. We are part of Gulf Coast State College in Panama City. They are our fiscal agent and our host. We're located on the campus. And what we do is we teach Boots to Business classes, as Natalie said, on the 14 Florida military installations. We also teach Boots to Business Reboots, which is the same course taught off-base to those who separated prior to 2013 or who don't have access to the base. The Boots to Business program is really meant to be a third leg of the TAP program for those who are entrepreneurial. As you might recall, the focus for TAP prior to 2013 was go to school or go to work. Now there's an opportunity to start a business. So we teach those. The slides that I'm showing, you've got some statistics that are from our program year, which is May 2021 to April 2022. And as I said, we teach at 14 military bases, the Boots to Business program. We taught 56 Boots to Business classes last year. Yeah, that's more than one a week. We taught 302 modules. Each class is 8 modules, and we share that with our SBA resource partners so that way everybody gets a chance to kind of help out. We had 1,229 attendees, and we did 12 additional training sessions that weren't part of Boots to Business because, as you can see, most of our time was spent deploying to military bases, putting in paperwork, and actually teaching the program. To kind of roll out what we also do is we provide counseling to veterans, active duty military, Guard and Reservists, Coast Guard, and military spouses of that group. During that program year, we provided 3,729 counseling sessions. We closed on close to $2 million worth of loans. Our clients won over $23 million, almost $23.5 million in government contracts. And as a result of working with us, our clients were able to start 155 businesses from that program period. I'm going to kind of switch gears a little bit now and talk about some of what we do and talk about some of the numbers. Of the number of total counseling sessions, 529 of those were in government contracting. 226 of those clients were businesses that were already in business. And the businesses that they were starting or working in range from construction, commercial cleaning, manufacturing, including dental equipment, office furniture, waste hauling and disposal, to agencies as varied as the Federal Acquisition Service, Federal Emergency Management Agency, Department of Veterans Affairs, Bureau of Land Management, Department of the Air Force, Department of the Navy, General Services Administration, National Park Service, USDA Forest Service, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, U.S. Geological Survey, U.S. Air Force, Transportation Security Administration, U.S. Operations Command, and Johns Hopkins University private research labs. So that's a lot of different agencies that are mostly federal. There are also some state agencies mixed in there as well. You can see that we have got a staff here composed of 5 full-time people. Mr. Paul Jim, starting from the left to right, is a retired SBA lender. He specializes in helping our veterans to close on loans, because basically what he will do when we work with a business plan to get it up and running, we refer the client to Jim. He will shop that business plan out to different banks all across the country until he finds a match. Janice Bengio, next to him, also is a Boost to Business instructor. She's a military veteran. She was in the Army Reserves. She's got a specialty in legal and medical type businesses, things that she's done. I'm there in the center. You've heard about my bio. Jamie Shepard is a military spouse and a business owner. She is our lead Boost to Business instructor. She is the one who's assigned to be the point of contact with the North and South Florida District Office, as well as all the military bases, to set up and work with the scheduling of the classes. John Miller, our final, is our government contracting, I'm going to use the word guru. He says he has 42 years of government contracting and procurement experience. He's been saying that for 15 years. So I think it's closer to 50 years of government contracting and experience. As you can see, we work with all branches of the military, including Space Force, and we teach Boost to Business classes at all these bases. We're glad to do so. Outside of government contracting, our strengths also include helping veterans buy franchises, helping veterans to buy existing businesses, sell their business if they want to get started with learning how to read financial statements, learning how to do loan applications, as well as just opening businesses, from everything from pet stores, mobile businesses, barber shops, a lot of government contracting, of course, but any kind of business that you can think of, we've helped them with. And we'd love to work with you if we're not already. I recognize some names from the list. I'm kind of talking kind of fast because I think we are a little bit behind here, and I want to get this message out to you before we turn to the meat of our presentation. But we'd like to work with you. If we're not already, we can be found at victorbravooscarcharlie.org. That's veteransbusinessoutreachcenter.org. I'm Brenton Peacock. It's been my pleasure to speak with you today. Happy National Veteran Small Business Week, and thanks for all that you do to help our country grow economically. Back to you, Natalie.
Thank you, Brent, for sharing that information. And hopefully those individuals that feel like the Veterans Business Outreach Center is an SBA resource partner you want to work with, please reach out to Brent. As I wrote some information in the chat, we will share the list of all the presenters' contact information. So that way, anyone that wants to reach out with someone will have that information. So up next, it is my pleasure to introduce Barbara Ash, who is the director for the National Veteran Institute for Procurement program, which is a great program for a business that's in the procurement arena, basically is starting or looking to take their business to the next level. I don't have a bio read for Barbara. I'm going to let Barbara share that key information with you guys. This is a great, again, one of SBA programs. This is a program. Unfortunately, I'm not in the classroom, but I always, promoting this information to those small businesses that can take advantage of this program. And it's like a hidden jewel as well. I'm going to share a secret really quick. We were at an event in our office, and the gentleman said, I went to the VIP program and, was giving kudos about it. And I'm just standing there like, what is he talking about? So I'm like, okay, great. So I had to come to my desk and look it up. I'm like, oh my God, that is an SBA program. Wow, I didn't know it exists. SBA does so many things, have so many programs that we power. But again, me, myself, if I don't touch them, a lot of times out of sight, out of mind. But this is one great program that, again, is available for those individuals that's looking to get into the procurement arena. So with that being said, I'm going to turn the mic over to Barbara, and she's going to give you some key information on the program. Thanks, Barbara.
Thank you, Natalie, for that wonderful introduction. And sometimes we do think we're the best kept secret out there, even though we have 2,000 graduates from every state and territory as far away as Guam. And we've been doing this since 2009. But we thank you for the opportunity to help us spread the word and to also showcase some of our graduates. I always think who better to tell you than those that have had the user experience and have felt the impact. So I'm joined today by Tomas Santos Alejandro, and I'll be introducing him shortly to have him share some of his experiences, not only with VIP, but other resources that he has found helpful as he has grown his business as a government contractor. And with that, I want to thank Ron and Brenton. Good to know that you are a fellow Seminole. I too am a FSU graduate, and so great to hear that. Grew up in Fort Lauderdale, but live up here in Maryland now, where the National Center is located for the Veteran Institute for Procurement. Natalie, I wanted to share with you and those on the call today that we have over 130 Florida companies, veteran-owned and service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses that are graduates of VIP. And I think Tomas will share a little story how he met one and won a little bit of work. Maybe he'll share that story. I don't know. But as I mentioned, it's a national program, but we do have quite a few graduates from the state of Florida. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that I can go into a little before I bring in Tomas. I just want to provide a brief overview on what the heck is VIP. And so this is an opportunity for you to learn a little bit about VIP. Here's how to reach us. Let me see, how can I grid view? Let's see. I don't know if that helps. No, I'm trying to get a different view. Let's see. We'll do that. Well, anyway, here you can find my contact information as well as Tomas. Please do not hesitate to reach out to either one of us if we can be of help to you. And then also, of course, you can reach out to and take a look at our website at nationalvip.org, where you can find more information about the program and also to apply. So as I promised, what is VIP? It stands for Veteran Institute for Procurement. And what is unique about VIP is that we train companies and not individuals. And what do I mean by that? The company applies to attend VIP versus it's not what the individual veteran knows or has done in government contracting, but what has their business, how are they done in federal contracting? How far along are they developed as government contractors? And all applications have unique qualifiers, and I'll be sharing that shortly. But the program is a national program, and it is offered at no cost to participants nationwide. And you are accepted on a first come, first served basis. So, and when we say at no cost, that includes your hotel, your meals, and the transportation. I am not an instructor in VIP. I am the national director, and I do facilitate many of the trainings. The training is done by subject matter experts in the topics they teach, and they are all currently in the market. When I say that, they are currently supporting government contractors and work with small businesses and helping them compete, comply, and perform, as well as the federal government agency representatives that instruct. So over the course of those 3 days and 27 hours, you'll be in a classroom with 49 other CEOs that are veteran-owned, and also meet the over 37 instructors from industry and government. So you walk away with a network of about 100 individuals that can continue to support your success. As I mentioned, we do this across 5 curriculums. And those 5 curriculums are designed to meet the company where they are in their development as government contractors. You can start as early as VIP Start and be just 1 year in business. You do not have to have any past experience, either as a prime or a sub, but want to take your capabilities and now market to the federal government. VIP Start is where you would begin your journey with VIP. Once you start to grow, and now you've been in business a little bit longer and have a little bit of past performance, either as a sub or a prime, and now you want to scale, you can come to VIP Grow. VIP Advance is for companies that are, again, further along in their development, are 10 million up in revenue, and now have new challenges on how to sustain their company as government contractors as they move out of socioeconomic status into full and open competition. Then VIP International is for companies that want to support their customer OCONUS, or want to tap into global markets. And this is to help them understand how to, again, enter that market and also how to scale. VIP Aerospace, which I know is important to many folks in Florida, given the footprint you have there from the federal government, is a program that will help you connect and learn how to align your business with that aerospace sector that has unique requirements and requires companies to have specific capabilities. And that program is designed to help you tap into that new and growing and very innovative market sector. And then finally, why does it work? And I'm excited to say, yes, it does. Over $17 billion in federal prime awards have been won by the graduates. We also know by our data that 2/3 of their revenue actually comes from subcontracting. So if you added, so just 1/3 is coming from prime. So that number would be significantly larger if we could track subcontracting. But they are winning and they are growing. And what I'm also excited about is that we're also sustaining companies, as you can see here. VIP graduates are on average, by 85% of them are still in business 10 years or more. And they do that because they change the way they do business. The vast majority do adopt the best business practices that are taught in the classroom, and that has served them well. And we're very excited that 36 of them this year were on the Inc. 5000 list. So I encourage veterans that are on the call today, and if you're not interested or available or focused on the federal market, please share information to a fellow veteran or to your network about the program and how they can tap into these opportunities. With that, I'd like to stop sharing my screen.
Barbara, real quick before we move on to Tomas, there's a question in the chat.
Sure.
For the VIP Start program, it says that you have to have revenue in the past year. Chris Moffitt is asking, is there a threshold requirement? Do you have to have a certain amount of revenue to get into the VIP Start?
Oh, thank you for that question. And I'm glad you brought it up. No, there isn't a threshold. It just has to mean that somebody has bought what you are selling, either a product or service. There is not a threshold. What it is to we do that because we want to have the company be beyond an idea, that somebody in the market sees value for your product and service, and now you want to take that capability and that success and apply it to the federal government. So no, there is not a dollar threshold in total revenue for your company or in sales, but you have to be in business full time, working on your company, in your company and on your company. Hope that answers. Sure, absolutely. So with that, I think we're all back together. And as I mentioned, who best to really tell you a little bit about the Veteran Institute for Procurement and the experience and the why and the outcomes. I am thrilled to be joined here today with Tomas Santos Alejandro. He is the CEO of Advent Services. And Advent Services develops the best value solutions for his private sector, federal, state, and local government customers by providing expertise in system software engineering, cybersecurity, and information technology support services. Tomas is a graduate from both VIP Grow and Aerospace and has applied to attend next year's VIP International program. And I will share with you that it has been my experience with over 30 years of supporting small businesses that those that are the most successful remain lifelong learners. And so it's great to see Tomas coming back and wanting to not only expand his market, go global, but also wanting to make sure that he is on top of best practices and market trends, and so that he can continue to compete, comply, and perform for all his customers. And as I mentioned in the intro, his customers are federal, state, and local, and the private sector as well, which is not uncommon for veterans that attend our program, that they do not necessarily limit their customer base to just federal, and that's a good business model, don't you think, Tomas?
I think so. It's worked out so far.
Yeah, well, welcome and thank you for joining us today. I'm going to let you talk a little bit more about your company, and also share your experience that you had with VIP, and any lessons learned that you're willing to share along in your journey. So welcome.
Yeah, absolutely, sure. So a little intro about myself. I'm a veteran. I was a Navy cryptologic officer. I did that for 10 years. I separated in 2005. From there, I became a government contractor, the usual path that a lot of us follow. I did that until 2008 when I started my first business. It was called Nexus Technology Solutions. I sold that one in 2012 to a Native American corporation. When it became general manager of the company I used to own, which was a very interesting, set of affairs. In 2014, I actually went over to now Advent, which was owned by my wife, actually. It used to be her business. I came over, became her VP. 2016, we changed ownership. I became full owner. And from then on, we went from doing administrative type support services to more into IT, software, cyber, which is where we remain today. It's been an interesting year. We started the year with 8 employees. We're now at 34. 3 projects. We're now at 16. We booked $25 million worth of revenue for the next 4 years. So it's been pretty crazy. So on top of being a service sale veteran-owned small business, we're also 8A. So we've taken full advantage of that program. We just started our 3rd year in the program. And we're also hub zone. We have an office in Puerto Rico, and that's how we perform more of our social responsibility work, helping the folks from there, since I'm from there, right? So the office is actually in my hometown, which is it's a great thing to experience when you go back and you can give back, to the place you were born. So it's pretty neat. As far as the company, like I said, systems and software engineering, IT support, cybersecurity, and now program management. We've gotten into that. We've got a couple contracts in that, so it's another area where we're expanding on. We have folks now in 8 states. Like I said, it's 34 of us. Soon it'll be 41 at some point in January, February. So rapid growth. So a lot of those things that we learned in VIP are certainly coming true. Especially that part about the processes and the policies, that was ridiculously important. So if there's anything I would say about the program, that the most that we got out of it, right, was that part about what I call professionalizing your business, right? Establishing procedures, starting policies, hierarchies. So all those things were very, very important to us. When we came into the program, we had some experience already with how to develop, business development strategy. We did learn some things about it, but we already had a good background on that. I think what we were lacking was that area where, you go from being, a small business where your CEO is working in and on the business, to now transition to where we are now. I am, leading 30 plus people, and I don't have time to, be in the business because I'm running the business. So it's good. It's different. And to be honest, I don't know how I would have done it had I not had that that knowledge, right? I mean, we're all, veterans. We're all just going to plow through and succeed. But, having that knowledge ahead of time just helped out tremendously. So that's a little bit of our story. As Barbara mentioned, we will be attending VIP International. That's sort of our next step to start performing work out CONUS. So everybody wants to perform in Hawaii, and so do we. And so that's part of our strategy. And also, on the commercial side, globalization is the key now. So we're looking to see how we can partake on that, right? I mean, with us being basically a bilingual company, it sort of makes sense to start targeting, those countries, Central South America, especially since they don't have some of the expertise that we have. And so that's what we hope to, learn from VIP International, is how to start, walking that road of serving folks internationally. And of course, how that affects our business on the federal side as you get into ITAR and sort of all these things. So, so that's what we're looking for. That is pretty much it in a nutshell. Ready for questions if anybody has them.
Oh, that's great. Well, as they put their questions in the chat or raise their hand, I appreciate the fact that you found that VIP prepared you for your growth.
Mhm.
We often, as you know, in government contracting, that growth can come very quickly with just one award or two. And that's a heck of a time to try to figure it out, basically build the plane while you're flying, right? So it's much more important to have those best practices in place, that infrastructure in place. You think of a building, right? A structure that if you build a strong foundation, it can take that weight of growth as your company expands. And it keeps you not only, compliant, but competitive. I would imagine it's very much a differentiator for you when you're talking to your customer, that you can demonstrate that your company is ready to take on this project, and you know how to demonstrate that. And gives them confidence, and it really minimizes the risk that goes along with doing business for the first time with anyone, correct?
Yeah, and it opens doors too. It changes people's attitudes. I remember, because it's so fresh, right? I mean, we really all the success started sometime around early summer. That's when we started, getting the awards. And talking to some of the agencies, right? When you go in and you meet, we had the opportunity to meet with the Office of the Undersecretary of the Air Force. And so we come in, right, and it was us and a partner, and so we're talking to them, right, and their perception, oh, you're a small business, this and that, and as soon as you start mentioning, well, we're now 34 employees, and we're doing this, we're in the States, all of a sudden they sit up straight, and one of the gentlemen was like, oh, okay, so you ready to go? We're like, yeah, we're ready to go. We want some work, and so we're working there. Same thing with the primes, right? I mean, it just gives them a sort of a feeling that, okay, you sort of kind of proving yourself. And so now we know we can throw, things at you, and we don't have to worry about babying you. We just, we all need that babying step. There's nothing wrong with that. And I try to help companies as much as I can, because I just came from there. But it does open doors. And so far, I mean, we're very, excited about the future. And so we'll continue learning. Hopefully my goal is to get to VIP Advanced here in the next 2 years. So, be a nice problem to have right now. I got to go to VIP Advanced. So that's the goal. Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, that's great. And you mentioned taking the international because you want to expand, your company. Oftentimes we find that, you start working with a customer, and when you do good work, they want to do more with you. And many a times the federal government, given their global footprint, has needs OCONUS, and so they'll come to the vendors that they know and trust and work with, asking them to support their growing mission, OCONUS. And you have two choices. One, say, no, I don't have the capabilities, and then they're going to still solve that problem, but perhaps with a competitor.
Mhm.
Or you say yes, and you know how to perform that work. in a compliant way. And so that is often how folks find their way to VIP International, is because their customer has expressed interest in them supporting the work they do here somewhere else. And as you know, in VIP Grow, the class you came in and start, unless you come, we always say, don't dabble. Do not dabble in international work. And that's all we teach in the other classes. It literally is another whole 3 days to prepare companies on how to successfully enter OCONUS work. Like you mentioned, ITAR, the different requirements and certifications and clearances, and how does that impact you as a current government contractor. And so all of that is we walk you through and give you those resources and information, and also the network to support you. And speaking of network, you and I were chatting before we jumped on with the folks. And I don't know, you don't have to name names, but I think telling what we always say about VIP, of course, it's the 3 days and the 27 hours of instruction and the instructors you meet and the relationships you make. But it's a gift that keeps on giving, because we have continuing education. As you mentioned, you came to aerospace and now you want to go to international. We also have the VIP marketplace, where all the VIP graduates can upload their profiles and their capability statements, and it's keyword searchable, where you can find mentors and teaming partners. And I think you had a recent success there. If you could share that.
We did, yeah. So one of the beautiful things about VIP Grow, right, is there's, and in your entire program, right, it's escalation, right? Like you start here and then you sort of graduate to the next level, the next level, the next level. And one of the things we learn about, VIP Grow, when it comes, at least, to the business development side, is this whole concept of schedules and IDIQs and such, which we have some. And but recently we just got our GSA schedule. We got it in the beginning of September, and of course that's the time of year where things go crazy. And we were actually approached by the Air Force, Cape Canaveral, right? Imagine that, Cape Canaveral Aerospace, with some work they wanted us to do, which we had some past performance, but really wasn't that big, and really we didn't have the capacity to do it. So I went into the VIP marketplace, did a search. I'm looking for, I didn't even post it. I literally searched the database for those keywords and found 2 companies, reached out to both of them, ended up doing work with one. We won the contract, about $250,000. And so Friday, we're going out to Cape Canaveral and do the site survey, and then we'll start working in January. So the system works. I mean, I've been through it. You just have to stay at it. So I mean, I have nothing but great things to say about the program. The people I met, I mean, we've gone after business with some of the folks that we went to class with. We haven't won, but hey, still, it opens opportunities. I call them the opportunities. They come with opportunities. And so that's what you want, right? You just want access to opportunity. That's what you want. You're looking for opportunity. How do you generate those opportunities, right? Outside of the traditional, go to SAM.gov or forecast. Yeah, those things are important. But a lot of times, what you'll see is that, business comes word of mouth. Hey, I got this opportunity. I need help, right? Or I got a friend that has an opportunity, right? A friend of a friend of a friend. Those things have happened to us too. So actually, we're in a joint venture right now with a friend of a friend of a friend. That's how it started. And now we're in a joint venture, and we won a contract over at CISA. So it just, those things happen. And as a matter of fact, it was through a VIP person. It was through Omar, which is one of the VIP instructors. He put me in touch with a company, and now we're in a joint venture, and we got a $2.4 million contract at CISA. So those things work.
Oh my gosh, made my day. Oh, that's great to hear. Well, I think it's important, for everyone on this call to understand that, it's a relationship-based business. I mean, of course, you have to know what you're doing. That's a given. You have to be the best at what you do. You have to compete. But at the end of the day, you have to have a network.
You do.
You have to have a network.
Partner ecosystem, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Rolodex, right? I mean, for those that know Rolodex, might be dating here. But right, I mean, you just need that. You can't, I tell people, it's team. You only do that if you have the network to support that. So
yeah. And so oftentimes, it's hard as a small business to have a footprint that's national. But being in a classroom with 49 other CEOs, you automatically open up the aperture of not only agencies, but capabilities in the geography.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
that's been key for us, right? Because a lot of the growth that we've experienced is in the national capital region, right? We're in Panama City, Florida, right? So literally, I'm a mile from the Gulf Coast or from the Gulf itself, and so as a small business, having presence up there is very difficult unless you partner, right? And so that's the thing that we've been able to do is partner up there, right? And they become our presence. And so we've been able to, win several contracts up there. Eventually, we will have our own presence there. Hopefully, here at some point mid next year, we'll have our first office in the National Capital Region. But in the meantime, if you develop the proper network, you really can be nationwide. But it is going through courses at VIP that you really develop those, because even in conferences, you meet people. You swap out, cards, but I mean, that's a 5-minute, maybe 10-minute conversation. VIP, you're all there, you're all the same sort of stage, you're out there sharing your deepest secrets, right? I mean, and so you get to know people a lot, and then you follow on, and then, you stay in touch with them, and that's, and those people then bring you into their networks and so forth and so forth. So,
yeah. Oh, that's great. Well, thank you for sharing that. And like I said, you made my day to know, because I do think that's a key element. It's not only teaching how to compete, comply, and perform, but it's opening up a network that helps you. And that's the sort of the point of the gift that keeps on going. And like I said, it's particularly hard, for a small business to be everywhere. And to grow that network. I know we have a few questions in the chat, so I wanted to take a look at that and see. I see Luis. Thank you, Luis, for a shout out on VIP Start, a graduate. Wonderful to hear that you found the program of value to you in your company. So great to hear from Luis. The link to VIP, I'll put that in the chat here, but it is nationalvip.org. As simple as that, www.nationalvip.org. Information and the applications can be found at that site for all of them. We are currently accepting applications for all of our programs. We will have 5 programs coming up in 2023, and we have one that starts next week, VIP Start. There's a class that begins next week here at the Bolger Center. And again, all applications are on a first come, first served basis. So we take them in the order, regardless of where you're located. And we've been known to have 10 come in from Texas, and 12 from Georgia, and 6 from Florida in a class. And so it's first come, first served. And I think, Tomas, you can attest to the fact that the application takes about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know it's ridiculously simple. It really is. I mean, the barrier to entry so low is just and that's a good thing, right? I mean, I've been through all the programs. I mean, I went through the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Small program, and that was like applying for college. I mean, interviews and I don't know. Yeah.
It's pretty, as you saw on the slide and all, of course, the slide will be out there with our contact information, yours and everybody else, is that the one thing that is constant for all of our applications is that you must be a veteran-owned small business or service-disabled veteran-owned small business. This is only available to veteran small businesses and small businesses in the eye of the government as definition. I'm seeing here that Hayes Fountain is a 2016 graduate. Oh, that's great. That's that's great to see. And and Carlos, you're right. The next one after next week. So next week's class is full. The classes fill up a good 6 months to 3 months ahead of time. You will find out about 3 months ahead of time if you're admitted into a class, so you can make arrangements within your company, your family, your life to attend. And if for some reason you can't, you don't lose your place in the queue. You simply you're invited to come to the next one. So after next week, the next VIP Start class, we have 2 a year. And as I mentioned, there's 50 companies in a class, 1 representative per company. It's the owner or the executive in the company that is allowed to attend. And the next one is in April, and those dates are April 18th through 20th. And we'll be beginning to reach out to those that have applications in the queue now and any others starting in December. We'll start vetting that. So we try to give everybody at least a 3-month heads up. Before that, we do have a VIP international class. There is still, I think, room for that one. So take a look at that one. That class is March 28th through 30th. And March VIP Grow is January 23rd through 26th, and we're currently onboarding those applicants. And so if you're interested in that class, I encourage you to apply now because, as I mentioned, we've been doing this since 2009, and those classes do fill up a few months ahead of time. But we've been doing this for 14 years. If you don't get into this one, don't worry. We'll get to you shortly and as soon as an opening. And we hope to be able to even offer more trainings next year with additional funding that we're anticipating once the budget is passed. We are in a CR, and I see Tomas laugh because he knows this very well, right?
I know.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So the government is operating in a continuing resolution, haven't passed a budget. Hopefully that'll happen in December and new money will flow. The government is still open for business, of course, but new programming, new money is tied up until that budget is passed. Let's see. So next week it says online. The next class is, April 23rd. What is the deadline for submission to VIP Start program? There is no deadline. Again, it's first come, first served. And so what I mean by that is your applications, come in, we get a date and time. It's basically, tells us when you applied. We reach out to you if you meet the qualifiers. We let you know if you don't, but it's basically for qualifiers. So you already know when you apply if you meet the qualifiers. If we have questions, we call you. It's not a hard application at all. It's not a whole lot of gate reviews. But when I reach out to you and you may, have a wedding, you may, have surgery planned. I mean, all kinds, life happens. And so I may have 50, we accept 50 into a class. I might have 75 applications there. I just don't know how many will accept until I reach out to you. So, you look at the date and you find out, oh, that was a good date when I applied 4 months ago. But now we have a trip planned, or now I have, this or that. So it's hard for us to know who is actually able to attend. So it's not like 50 applications, 50 are in. It usually takes 100 applications to get 50. Yeah, in a class.
What happened was, I mean, we wanted to attend the previous international, and again, I applied, the dates were good, and then I got contacted and it's like, no, I can't go.
That date is wrong. Yeah, it happens. It happens more than not. So that's why, Chris, there is no deadline. It is the first 50 that meet the qualifiers and accept. And a lot of times that accept is that, when we were doing it virtually, is this time frame going to work for me? When we were doing it in person, can I get away for these 3 or 4 days? So that just shares a little bit there. I see Natalie is back. I think we got to all the questions, Natalie. And I will have Tomas and myself put in the chat our contact information, as well as the website. And please reach out if anybody has any questions. Please use your resources. Oh my goodness, the SBA, the VBOC, Breton, you have sent us tons of graduates. Thank you. We're a team. We're one team. And we always say at VIP, who cares when you win besides your mom? Breton, Ron, Natalie, VIP, we all care. So align yourself with people who care when you win, and make sure you have all of us pulling for you at all times, and wish you all the best. And so glad to be here with you, Natalie, Ron, and Brent, and Tomas. Thank you for giving your time today and your expertise. Congratulations on your growth, and I look forward to seeing you back in the classroom in March. Thank you.
Same here.
So I didn't get back on camera to run you guys away. I got on camera because I wanted to ask two questions, one for Tomas and one for you, Barbara. So Tomas, I wanted to know, how did you learn about VIP?
I was at the National 8A conference in Caesar, which Barbara knows very well. He's graduated from the 8A program now. He's service over our own proud Marine Corps guy. Just ridiculous growth. I mean, it's amazing the things he's done. Anyway, so I met Caesar because he was one of the conference presenters, and I told him I was a veteran, and the first thing he asked me is, "Why you been to VIP?" And I said, "What is that?" And he went and got Barbara and told Barbara, "This is Tomas. Tomas used to go to VIP." And that's how I met Barbara at the National 8A conference in New Orleans. So that's how I found out about the program.
And I'll be there again in February. I think it's February this year.
February,
Yeah. Yeah, February. I'll be back at the National in New Orleans again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's right. I forgot. That's right. Through so Cesar Nadir is now full and open. He's a very, very large company.
Yeah, he is.
And soon Tomas will be. Just watch.
Have to go.
And so Barbara, so
yes.
Based on the information that you shared about the class and all the programs, I have a question. So if I'm I have my head tilted. My phone is this way. I'm speaking through my phone, but let me put it this way. So if I'm a business that's located not in Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm interested in the program, and I hear, the program is free, the hotel is free, do you guys fly me there and fly me back?
We are not into transportation, so we're not going to get you there. But once you're there, we pick up the entire tab. So whether you drive, take a plane, train, however you get there, whenever you get there, you can get there too. Sometimes folks will come and meet the customer, have other meetings, meet other folks, but so for those days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night is on us. All the training, meals, everything. Once you get there, there is no cost, but we do not, like I said, we're not in the transportation side of it. And it is national. So like I said, we're headquartered here just in Rockville, Maryland, outside of DC. The training center is actually an 83-acre campus. The Bolger Center, it's owned by the United States Postal Service. It is the training center for the United States Postal Service. When they are not using this huge campus, they allow others to lease the space, and that's what we do. So it's a beautiful campus of 500 hotel rooms, and you're right on a campus there. It's about 11 miles from the White House. So there's 3 airports, but depending on, some people drive, fly, train, like I said, but once you're there, we do pick up all your other costs. So, and it's not specific to Maryland, it's just where the training center is. And some of our instructors fly in. And we have somebody coming up this week from Florida. Do you know Sean Applegate? You all may know Sean Applegate. Do you know him?
Don't know him yet.
Yeah. So Sean is a VIP grad. He's out of the Tampa area. And he's flying up. Many of our grads who are very successful. Tomas, there's an invite for you. Come back and are part of the instruction and lessons learned and so forth. So anyway, yeah, if that's helpful.
Okay, thank you. So for you guys that are still here with us, do we have any more questions for Barbara, Tomas, Ron, myself, Brent? You can either unmute your mic or plug it into the chat.
I've got the administrator's comments if you want me to. I put it in chat, but if you want me to run it, I can do that.
Can you please do that? And remember, when you click on share, you have to click on that sound button so to play. Thank you. So I think that is a great message.
Through service to our country. That's why every year the SBA leads a nationwide celebration of National Veterans Small Business Week to honor the giant impact of America's nearly 2 million veteran-owned small businesses. Beginning October 31st, SBA and its partners and veteran business outreach centers across the country will be celebrating our veteran and our military family entrepreneurs and highlighting SBA's affordable capital products and business counseling services to help them launch and grow. This week, let's all support our veteran and military family-owned businesses. Shop and promote these businesses online, attend events, and share your support with others. And to all of our veteran and military family entrepreneurs, know the SBA continues to improve to better serve you so you can do what you do best, support your local communities, your neighbors, and our economy and our nation. Thank you for doing your part. I look forward to celebrating National Veteran Small Business Week with you all.
Thank you, Brent. I appreciate that. So, do we have any more questions for the team? Again, during my presentation, my slides didn't match up with the words that were coming out of my mouth, but it's okay. You guys will have access to those slides. Again, in those slides, those links are live. So if there was any information that you're interested in, you can click on those links. The information about the VIP program from Barbara, that information is going to be shared with you also. Tomas, I want to thank you for sharing your story. Hopefully it helps someone else's story that's here or add on to someone's story. I know there's a lot of resources that are out here, programs and services, and sometimes individuals tend to stay away from the federal government, because they think, hey, they're going to be looking over your shoulders to catch you doing something wrong. That is not our mission. Our mission is we want to help you to start, grow, expand, as well as recover. So if someone tells you, hey, if you're looking to do this, we can only fly the flag for the Small Business Administration, that government is not going to help you as far as SBA, please reach out to us directly. Let us know what it is that you're doing, looking to do, or need to do, so we can let you know, do we have the programs and services that's going to support you. This VIP program is a great program. I'm sure there's a lot of individuals, just stay in Florida that don't know this program exists. That's why it's so important for us to work with and align ourselves up with other community leaders and stakeholders to help us to get the word out, because at the end of the day, this helps you as that small business owner that's looking to start or either grow. If you know someone that should have been at this event this morning, please let them know that they can reach out to us. Again, there's going to be a video. Maybe you can share that video. Once that video gets uploaded, I will share it with everyone, so that way you can revisit and look at the information over as well. The resources that's available through the Small Business Administration come to you at no cost. But like I said, with the resource partners, SCORE, SBDC, the Women's Business Center, and our Veterans Business Outreach Center, the only out-of-pocket expense you have is maybe if there's a workshop and there's a small fee attached to it. But other than that, we're here to assist you. You pay in taxes, so you are already paying for the services. So if you guys have any more questions, please let us know. Ron is going to pull up the last slide. The last slide has all of our contact information for those that would like to see it on screen. But like I mentioned, everyone is going to get a copy of it. I also want to ask, everyone, do they have any last key takeaways that they want to share with the businesses that are online with us? So from my side of it, I see Barbara first. Barbara, do you have any key takeaways you want to share?
No, I just encourage every business to find to reach out to their local SBA, to their VBOC if they're a veteran business as well, and connect to the network and the resources that are available. Do not try to do this alone. It is very hard, and all of these resources are there to give you speed of play. We're here to help. So I encourage, take advantage, as you point out, Natalie. It's the fastest and the best way and the surest way to start, grow, and sustain your company. And I just want to wish all our veterans it's an exciting week being a veteran during National Small Business Week, and of course Veterans Day next week, and thank them all for their service. And they do continue to serve, supporting the government in their mission. They never stop giving. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Brent, you have any last key takeaways you want to share?
Yeah, anybody in Florida that's at the point where you are now, reach out to us. We've got great resources for you, great training, and we've got a great website that has basically a step-through process of how to get started in government contracting all the way up to winning big awards, subcontracting the whole thing. So that's victorbravooscarcharlie.org, and fill out that request for counseling form. That way we have permission to work with you, and we look forward to doing that. And happy Veterans Day. We're glad you came today, and look forward to helping you throughout the journey of business ownership.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you.
Brent. Tuma?
Take, like everybody says, resources, make sure you use them. And then my mantra, which is team, team, team. And when you're done teaming, do some more teaming. Develop that partner ecosystem, those resources, that networking. That's really what's going to push you forward.
Okay, thank you. Ron?
Yes, thank you, Natalie. One of the things that I would like to say is, whether you're located here in Florida, Georgia, California or whatnot, wherever you're tuning in from, the SBA has their resources, their resource partners out there. They're available, and you can find them by going to the Find Resource Partners, on SBA's website. So again, kind of like Barbara had said, you're not in this alone. You have the free resources, utilize them. There's a lot of great, there's a lot of knowledge and information, that come from a lot of our resource partners, through their experience, through others' experience, and through the people that they've helped and assisted. So, make good use of that. And then network. I can't stress enough how important networking is. You guys are veterans. That's one of the largest fraternities and network there is. So utilize that. Whether you're a Marine, whether you're Army, you guys can come to common ground. And depending on the type of business you have, one may be able to complement the other, so that you guys can, like Tomas was saying, either form a joint venture or, a teaming agreement to go out and make yourselves more competitive, because there is enough, pie to go around in government contracting. So with
Too much
that,
pie.
What's that?
It's too much pie.
Yeah. And, like everybody has, something to contribute, so, and that's huge. What one doesn't know, the other does. And, that's what makes us great about working together. It's one team, one fight. I strongly believe. But, yeah, so with that, we wish you guys a happy Veterans Day, and enjoy the rest of National Veteran Small Business Week. Thank you guys again for attending today.
Okay, thank you, everyone. And last, I just also want to piggyback on what everyone said, and continue to enjoy the rest of National Veteran Small Business Week. Thank you guys for hitting that button today to join us. Hopefully, when you click that leave button, it was worth your time. Like I said, everyone will receive a copy of the event today, so that way you can go back and revisit. Maybe you want to share it with someone that should have been here. So Ron talked about it. Tomas also pointed it out as far as teaming with someone. Don't look at your competitor as competition. Look at your competitor as someone you can join forces with to make money. So again, you're not alone. As Barbara said, you have all of these resources that's available for you. Hopefully you guys are seeing that last slide that Ron is sharing with all of our contact information. But then again, this information will be shared with everyone. So again, I'd like to thank all my participants. Brent, Ron, thank you for the collaboration. Ron, thank you, Brent, for saying yes to be a part of this event. Thank you again, Barbara. When I reach out to want to do something, you say yes, and I appreciate you sharing that information. And thank you for bringing Tomas on to share his story as well. So with that being said, I'm going to let you guys continue the rest of your day, continue to be great, and just let us know if there's something we can assist you with. Please reach out to us so we can provide that support. And as Ron said, wherever you're located, if you're outside of Florida, just by going to SBA.gov, plugging in your zip code will get you attached to your local SBA district office. And also, I forgot to say, you know, we all, you know, thank our service members for, you know, their service. And I also want to make sure I thank the spouses. A lot of times they go without no ado to them, but if the spouses didn't hold down the home front, you know, our service member wouldn't be able to focus, you know, because of that. So again, we want to thank you as well. Again, thank everyone for joining us, and hopefully you guys can continue to stay great. And the last message I want to share, if you're small business owners, if you're on this line and you know the SBA Awards nomination is open, so we have different categories that you can compete for. This information will be also shared when I share the PowerPoint presentation. So if there's a category that you meet the requirements for, please submit your nomination. It's open around the country as well. So again, thank you everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Have a good day, everybody.
Bye.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for coming. Bye.